RetroPL from SuperTraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West. This message is brought to you by HowMuchYouBench.net, the Slingshot, and the only strength magazine in the world, thepowermagazine.com. This is a squat/deadlift session at Super Training Gym. You're going to see a lot of various things going on here today, but some people are preparing for meets. Mr. Robot Pants is one of them. He's doing our meet March 23rd. And Silent Mike is trying to get his groove back on his squats. He's kind of lost his mojo a little bit on the squats. And we'll go over his squats in just a second. Here I am pulling some raw sumo deadlifts as I prepare to get into my suit. And here comes Torta. Now Torta, he has a lot of issues with his form. He's very strong. He's very explosive. But he's also recently lost about 20 pounds. Here's Big Black going. Will Alex. Good strong pull in there by him. We'll go over his pull in just a second too. We'll dissect that sucker. Here Mr. Robot Pants is not concerned with depth at all. He's just trying to move these weights around as he prepares to get his straps up. And this is 545 I'm going with now. Felt pretty good on this day. I haven't felt good doing raw sumo deadlifts for about the last 5 years. And so I decided to work up a little bit. Not a bad squat there by Mike, but then on this one I remember he cuts real high. So he's got to work on his depth. He's got to work on building up his hips. Two things that come to mind to help build up the hips would be ultra-wide sumo deadlifts, and in addition to that, some wide stance box squats just to parallel would help him greatly at trying to keep those knees out. And even just box squatting alone, not by yourself, but even just box squats alone will help tremendously. Box squatting with bands, box squatting with chains is going to help him to maintain his positioning a little bit better. And so that's something I'm going to have to work on him with, help him fix up some of that form there. And there's Lisa, and then look at Matt, both burning a hole in my shorts, both totally guilty. I don't know why they were looking at my weenus when I was lifting, but that's what they were doing. That's kind of the price you pay for being a people's coach. It's not always easy to concentrate on your workouts when people are looking at your wanger. Here comes Silent Mike again. Again, he's just really searching for that mojo. He's not quite finding it. He does a pretty good job of forcing his knees out, but if you looked at that squat, especially if you rewind it again on the YouTubes, he's forcing his knees out too much. Now this chick here, she's new with us, and she's got her feet pointed out a little too far. She's got a couple things going on that we'll have to work on fixing up. Mr. Robot mentioned this many times. He likes to keep his head down, so that way it helps him keep a little bit more neutral of his spine. And his form looked pretty good there. Got to get himself a little lower, but that's not really what he's after, as I mentioned earlier. And if Ryan Cove couldn't look any worse, he decides to stuff himself into a giant orange suit. Here goes Kara Weston. She's preparing for a meet that I think is in April on the East Coast. And again, these warm-ups in this multiply gear, you're not really looking to wipe your ass on the floor. You're just trying to get some movement. And many times, it's going to sound really weird, but many times in multiply gear, your workout is you squat like 3 inches high, next one you squat 2 inches high, next one you squat about 1 inch high. And if you're lucky for the day, you get to about parallel. So there's Will Alex going again with another pull. And a lot of times people that are built like Big Bill, they tend to get stuck at the top. They tend to not have the glutes to lock those weights out. Usually bigger dudes, it's guys that have a big ass a lot of times that have trouble locking out those deadlifts. One thing that he's going to have to do is he's going to have to do some exercises to help fix that. That's what special exercises are for. Stiff leg deadlifts and Dimmel deadlifts. Now here goes Kara. I think she's doing a I can't remember if she's doing a reverse band yet or not. But she looks like she got a little too wide on that squat, in my opinion. So here goes my chubby little self with 675. Again, people staring at the weenus. Silent Mike trying to lower that weight down a little bit. So he's going to have to play around with a couple things with his feet. His feet might need to be straight, and that might help to get rid of that knee coming in. Here goes Janet Lavelle. She's trying to practice in her suit. Janet tends to get frustrated in her gear, and she gets out of it a little bit too early. It's very common in powerlifting. Here comes Ryan Cove. It's very common for people to get a little too frustrated. You got to stick with it. If you're going to be a geared lifter, you're going to have a lot of ups, a lot of downs, more downs than anything else probably. So here goes Kara again, and now we're trying to get her to a little bit better depth here. You can see the suit really binding up as she gets to the bottom of this. And so rather than have her get all out of position, get all crazy, I called her up just a tad early there. But if you saw the view that I had on the side, she was right at parallel. At least I think she was. Now that's what I saw. I saw her hamstring get about parallel with the floor. So here I go with 725 now. And my form got a little jacked on that one, but still a fairly easy pull. Really badly wanted to do that for a double, but just couldn't. Didn't feel like I had the grip to do a double. So now Kara's going with 490 and doing a reverse band squat. And again, a lot of this stuff's about sensation, and it's about overload. It's about feeling it out and getting yourself prepared for the meet. And that is it from supertraining.tv.